Demi is just someone I don't get her. I don't understand what motivates her at all. And in this episode 3 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, she threatens to go live. She's like, yeah, tell Jessi I'm going to go live right now. I'm going to tell her everything. But then they have to get the producer like, ma'am, you signed an NDA. All right, hi. Welcome back to She's Speaking. We are covering Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Season 3, episode by episode. And today we're doing episode 3. But before we do that, make sure you are subscribed to this show. Make sure you're following this show. You got notifications set up. And like this video if you're watching on YouTube. Leave a comment. Say hello. Let's do it. In a very interesting choice, and just shows how much content they have on the show, the cold open is the continuation of the scene with Marciano, Michaela, and Macy. So before the credits roll, we finish this conversation because they're like, I guess we only have 10 episodes. A little different on Housewives or any show that's airing on a network because they last for months. So you can have a couple episodes that have a little bit of filler in there. They don't have time for filler on this show. No, ma'am. By the way, I need to keep giving this disclaimer. If you're wondering what's in my mouth, I have a jaw spacer aligner thing because I have TMJ. I have to wear it. Please don't be mean to me about it. It's a handicap. No, it's not really. But just that's what's happening, and I have to have it in until I get better. Okay? Thank you. All right. So Marciano, we're picking up on Marciano telling them his crazy truths, which I've already stated. I'm not really sure I believe everything he says. He's like, I was like, dude, I don't feel good about this. And she's like, you need to double down and go even harder about the entire thing. So he's talking about what Demi was saying to him. And then he goes, I just feel manipulated because she was telling me what to say to Layla and she was hyping it up like, we'll do this show together. And now she's not even filming. That I believe. that you got me there. 100% you got me there. And we know that Demi is mad at Jessi for the big mom talk meeting where no one had Demi's back when she was like, Taylor needs to be out of this group. So anyway, okay, we're going to keep going. Michaela goes, let's end it on this. With Jessi, did you go into the night wanting to have sex or you thought that was what's going to happen? Marciano's like, wow. But then Macy goes, why did you take Cialis? That's what we need to know. But it's so gross. He's like, I was drunk and I didn't want to worry about performance issues, but I don't have a problem, guys. I don't have a problem. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. The girls have a time calling Jessi to tell her. First, they try to play a game with her, like, oh, he didn't tell us. And she's like, what? They're like, we can't. He did. He told us. And they're like, woo! They're so excited. They're like, yeah, this is amazing. He admitted it. All right. Well, the biggest reveal for them is that he kissed Demi on the lips. And they're like, what? Because Layla's with Jessi. They're like, what? Wow. Layla is very fast to cut someone off because Layla's like, I don't even want to talk to her if that's who she is. Like, if she's out, I'm done. Layla does this kind of often. And I've seen on social media that Layla is making TikToks with Demi. I swear she was, right? Or was that just Taylor? Someone was. So I know everyone's going to make up and be fine because that's what they do. But anyway, Jessi tells us, and this is going to be a long thing I'm going to read to you guys. Jessi tells us that after the mom talk meeting, Demi was really mad and sent her rage texts. Then she proceeds to show pages and pages on the screen. I screenshot what I could get from those. It was pages and pages from Demi. We're going to read some of it. Demi says, I wish you communicated with me before the scene. That was a complete blindside to me. Imagine if I did that with Jen, knowing how touchy and heightened the situation was. I think you'd be feeling equally confused. I am hurt. I know it's a show, but watching you and Taylor interact in front of my face like that after all that's happened made me physically sick, and not just because I think you're choosing into it like Gabby's predicted. But you said you sided with Taylor on almost all of her points, and you were not a friend to me hardly at all. And then I cuts off. This is very hard to read because it's blurry, but I think she says, if you're going to let each individual fight something, why side with Taylor and defend her against me as much as you did? And then she goes on to say, I think you genuinely believe that I was shitting on Jay-Z hair, and it blows my mind. Taylor, ? Who literally twists every damn thing, every damn story in her life, and you're questioning if that confirms something the way I'm telling you it did? That sucks. If so, I own that I relayed others' opinions on their experiences, but it's all I had to go off of. You had never done my maybe color. At that point, I was trying to, okay, whatever. She was basically trying to get out of what she said about the hair business. Then it keeps going. These are just the longest text messages I've ever seen. The last line of this one is, I really hope Gabby's wrong. I don't know who she's referring to. But with her track record, I really don't think she is. I think you're misinterpreting Gabby's words / advice for you based on the last convo I had with her a few days ago. Is that a producer, maybe? I'm not saying she's God and knows all, but she has certainly been right about most of her readings thus far. This is like a psychic? And then Demi says, I'm genuinely worried for you, but I'm officially removing myself entirely to let you navigate this and to protect my peace and sanity. I hope it all ends well for you. I'm deeply disappointed with how you handled last night as my friend, and I'm going to need some more time to digest everything. So if I'm quiet, that's why. Then it looks like Demi says more stuff. And then it says, I'm sad. I hate that we're not good. I know you have your shoot today. Can we talk tomorrow? Jessi says, I appreciate this text. I'm going to Florida tomorrow, so I can't meet until next week. I'm really hurt that you jumped to needing space and removing yourself before having a bigger conversation. I thought our friendship meant more than that. I was giving you the space you said you needed, and I needed space to process that as well. Let's plan on talking next week if that works. Demi says, I get that. I'm sorry. I was trying to communicate that I wanted to take time to process and let the dust settle before having a potentially heated conversation. I was giving you the courtesy of letting you know I was upset and that I needed space so you didn't feel like I was ignoring you and leaving you in the dark like you explained you felt before. I was also upset about more than just you. I was extremely emotionally charged and didn't want to take it out on you. Does that make sense? This isn't really rage texting. Oh, then Demi just says, good luck in Florida. Talk when you get back. And then Demi says, hey, I know you're back and probably busy and getting caught up. Haven't heard from you, though, and was wondering if you still wanted to talk this week. And then Jessi says, to be honest, I need some space right now. You chose to officially remove yourself entirely, which felt like a friendship-ending text. I feel like you tend to have big reactions in the moment, and once the dust has settled and emotions have calmed, you reevaluate and back down a little bit. This feels very similar to contracts last year, and I'm not interested in doing that again. I would have appreciated if we could have had a conversation about what happened and how we both felt, but you instead decided you needed space and then a week later changed your mind. I'm still hurt by this, and I think it would be best if we waited to talk until pickup week. And then Demi says, remove myself entirely from the Taylor situation, not you. This is exactly why I want to have a conversation, because all of this has happened over text. I did need some time to digest and calm down. I was completely blindsided, but I never said I was removing myself from our friendship or from you. I said I was removing myself from worrying about you and Taylor and the whole Gabby thing. What is the Gabby thing? Am I missing something? And then she says, I won't be having this conversation on camera. This is to me. This is a real friendship for me, not a camera-only friendship. So if your boundary is waiting for cameras, that speaks entirely to our friendship. You're spinning what I said instead of understanding me, and you're treating me like I'm an adversary. I was hurt by something you did. By the way, you need space? Hold on. Make it make sense. I know I've made mistakes. The difference is my mistake, whatever. Have I not been a solid, loyal, genuine friend to you? If your argument is that Taylor is a better friend, something about the CMAs, um, I don't know how I land on that text message conversation. Um, I wanted to hate Demi, but it just doesn't feel like Demi was being so terrible in that way. I think this group is very quick to cut people off. I think that's just like one of their traits, the mom talk trait or something. But okay, those were the texts, but I don't know if those count as rage texts. It sounds like friend texts to me, but they were long, but they were very long. All right, well, Jessi has to throw I think she's got a line of foils called House of Foils. I think that's what it is for her Jay-Z hair place. So some of the ladies are there. Layla thinks that Miranda is ready to hear this story, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're never going to believe what happened." But then Jessi gives her this look like, "No, no, no, no." And then Macy pulls Jessi aside, and Macy's also a little bit over the top here. She's like, "I don't know if I trust Miranda because she's so close with Demi." And then Miranda keeps trying to pop up like, "Can I please hear what's happening? Please, please." It is cute how excited everyone was to see Taylor at this event. It's her first time back for the season. I know that I feel like maybe I'm just looking for it, but does Taylor have a jaw thing in her mouth too? It looked like she was holding her mouth, her lower bite the way I hold mine. But I'm probably just like looking for someone to relate to. Like she gets it. Not Jordan filming a scene lifting weights in the gym so he can tell Zach about Jessi and Marciano. I'm sorry. The way he's like sitting too when he tells the story, he's on that bicep curl bench thing. He's just got his like tank top on. He's like, "So yeah, this is my manly position," like leaning over the weight bench. I'm sorry, Zach has an absurd amount of self-awareness. I just did not see it coming. And I don't think Jordan wanted to hear this either because Zach's like, "Yeah, Jen had a lot of resentments over how I treated her. And she was always doing stuff for me. And I realized, wow, I need to do stuff for Jen. And so, yeah, we've gotten a lot closer since." Jordan's like, "So wait, you're saying that it was partly you?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, no, I definitely made my mistakes. I definitely made my mistakes." Maybe I just want to hate Jordan, but I don't really see him wanting to actually take accountability. I feel something just feels like he kind of loves that he has this opportunity to be like blatantly mean to Jessi. Like it's like, I'm allowed because you cheated, you know? I mean, he's just like taking the opportunity and running with it, if you will. But okay, next up is some event Jet Set by ACTA. I don't know. But Layla's there. Now, they're going to St. George the next day, so not everyone from Mom Talk is there. Layla was getting texts from Demi earlier, though, asking if they were filming at this event, which I'm assuming means I shouldn't come because I don't want to be on camera. Miranda goes, "Well, yeah, she said to me she was coming by with Camille." Camille is the other OG Taylor, Miranda, Camille Mom Talk trio. And I don't think she was involved in the swinging, but she just doesn't like Taylor. They are not on good terms. So this is a statement from Demi to be like, "I'm here with Camille." What? So enter Demi and Camille. And Demi does not know Layla is mad at her. She has no idea. She goes in for a hug and Layla just doesn't give it to her. And Demi's like, "What is wrong with you?" I don't kind of blame her though. If she doesn't know that she's mad, it's like what happened? But Demi goes, "Are you my," because Demi denies conspiring with Marciano. And Demi goes, "Are you my friend or are you Marciano's friend?" And Layla says, "I'm Jessi's friend. And you're not my friend?" Layla straight up is like, "I don't want to be your friend. From what I've heard, I don't even want to be your friend. Like, I don't even want to call you." And Demi is just shocked. But okay, so In order to prove her innocence, Demi shows Layla, or she was trying to show Layla, a text message she sent Marciano saying, "Don't do it." But what really ends up happening is you see how much they've been texting, because she goes to show it to Layla and she's like, "Hold on. Hold on. No, it's in here. Hold on. It's in here. It's excessive." It's a lot. And even Layla's like, "Lot of text messages there." And she's like, "Yeah, I was trying to get caught up." And Layla goes, "If you cared about Jessi's feelings at all, why didn't you reach out to her?" Fair question. But Demi goes, "I don't care about Jessi right now." Well, I mean, after reading those texts, they're not friends. But now Demi's on like a mission, clearly. But then Layla busts her real good here. This was good interrogation, because if you don't care about Jessi's feelings at all, why were you telling him to call it off then? That doesn't really track. Like, it's either one or the other. And then Demi's like, "'Cause I didn't want to meddle." But then Layla goes, "Have you told the whole truth about what happened in Vanderpump?" Demi cannot believe Layla is questioning her. And honestly, again, Marciano said it. So, because when Layla's like, "Look, it's your word against his word," I'm like, exactly, his word. Like, what? Demi goes, this is where she gives herself away. She goes, "Have I ever lied about anything? Why are you trying to pin me up against a fucking cheater and a liar? Why are you comparing the two? Jessi was the one having an affair." To me, what that proves is Demi found out about this and was like, "Oh, we're taking her down. We're taking her ass down." Okay. They cut over to Miranda, who is like clutching her pearls, watching them fight. She cannot believe Demi is acting like this at this Jet Set event. This is really making me reevaluate Demi as a person. Demi finally finds that text that she was trying to look for to prove her innocence. And what it says is, "As pissed as I am about Jessi, I don't want to be the one to blow her life up, especially because I wasn't even involved. Then there's the perception of it all. And I just don't think it's a good look for me to be involved, especially after season 2, most likely being painted as the villain." What did you say after that, though? Unless it was the last text message that you sent him, you might have put that in there, but I don't really know how much I buy of that, you know? Demi goes, "And then he called me 4 times saying, 'This is what they want to pay me.'" Who wants to pay? What? Who's going to pay you? Jessi? I mean, yeah, Jessi and what? The show? What? But Layla calls Jessi on speaker. And she's like, "Hey, I don't mean to catch you off guard, but I'm here with Demi." And Demi is saying that she texted Marciano before he came out to say not to do it. And then Jessi goes, "Well, I mean, she still did it." And Demi's like, "Did what exactly? Did what?" And she's like, "I'm not talking to you. Bye." Duh. Demi goes, "See, she's hanging up the phone. She proves she's lying, and I'm not lying. There we go." So Layla goes outside to call Jessi, and she's like, "Sorry." And she's like, "Why did you let her get on the phone?" She's like, "I don't know. Like, I just let that happen. That was weird." But they're talking, she's kind of trying to catch her up, and then Demi walks out, also on the phone. I have no doubt she's on the phone with Brett. And she says, "I'm going to go do a live and tell everyone about Jessi." It's just like such an incredible, it's like a nuclear bomb on a production, a reality TV show. It's like, what do you mean you're about to go ruin all of our storylines? Why? Don't. Lila's like, "Someone get Andrea." And Demi drives off, and it looks like she stops because then Andrea comes back out, and Demi's like yelling at her. It was drama. It was drama. But this must be like when Demi's like, "I have to come back because now my story is not getting told." And I'm not trying to say that I'm like I'm against Jessi, but like Jessi, I don't know if I should just believe everything, if we should believe like everything Jessi's saying. Even though I don't like Demi either, and I think Demi's freaking weird, because just her asking for 3 times more than everyone else is just kind of delusional to me. Like, why would you ask for that much more than everyone when it's a cast? You've all been on for the same amount of time. Like, why? I have had the hardest time eating healthy this year because I just want comfort from my food. But I forgot that Factor actually has really good food because I've been eating McDonald's, Taco Bell, you name it, no nutrients in sight, basically. And so the thought of healthy food just sounds disgusting. But dude, I got the loaded bacon shredded chicken. Yeah, I should have got 6 of those. So good. And it's like what you have to do with kids. You have to sneak healthy food into my food. So there's spinach, there's green beans, but there's also bacon and ranch sour cream. So I'm in. Factor has like categories for their recipes. So you got like high protein, carb conscious, keto, fiber filled, which I think I'm going to get on because I just need more vegetables, but I need them to be concealed and hidden in cheese. And now they have a GLP-1 balance. It's like perfectly portioned, protein forward, calorie friendly. Doesn't that sound chic? And of course, this goes without saying because it's me. No cooking is involved. No prep, nothing. And they are just ready to eat, warm them up. Boom. If you want to eat smart, go to factormeals.com/SheSpeaks50off and use code SheSpeaks50off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code SheSpeaks50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. If you are looking for your new winter boot, go to Born Shoes. Look no further. I love a good winter boot, but I find that leather can be a little restricting. You always got to really work to break them in. The way they do their stitching over there at Born Shoes, it gives a little flexibility and they're lightweight, but they're still very supportive. I got the Caraway boot, which is to the knee. And I know this is not the same at all, but I got cowboy boots for Beyonce and they were mid-calf and I still had to work to break those suckers in so that I wasn't dying at the concert. But the Caraway boot just feels broken in already, but it's still high quality. Just they got the stitching. They got that functional stitching going on over there. If you go to bornshoes.com today, you'll get a 15% discount plus free ground shipping on all full price shoes when you use my promo code SheSpeaks. That's promo code SheSpeaks for 15% off and free shipping available exclusively to our listeners and for just a limited time. The next day is the girls' trip to St. George, and Layla is driving Miranda, Macy, Michaela, Jessi, and Taylor up there. And they get a little status update on Miranda and Demi's friendship, which is like, after the event, I don't really know if I really like her. Then they get up to St. George, and the non-pregnant girls go ATV riding. And as they're like getting in the car to go in the cars back to the hotel or wherever they're staying, Layla goes, Miranda, I think tonight is the night that you need to really sell it to get back into mom talk. This is where it's just so ridiculous with this group. Like, how is she not just let back into mom talk? Isn't she there? Isn't she? She's filming. She's in mom talk. Like, what does this even mean? You guys have like, they're so weird about this thing. This is the night we're going to decide. So then they all go to dinner. And it's a big mom talk update because they need to game plan what they're going to do when they see Demi and Whitney. And then they finally decide that Miranda's back in. She's officially back in mom talk, everyone. I'm like, she better be. I really like Miranda. I really like her energy. I like her vibe. I like everything about her. And she should be. She's one of the founding members. Okay, there wouldn't be a mom talk without her. Okay. I like respecting the OGs. Well, at this same dinner, Jessi drops the idea of inviting Marciano because he lives in Vegas. And I'm like, okay. I love Taylor for just straight up saying, this is the worst idea ever. This is the worst idea ever. And then Taylor's confessional, she goes, he liked Demi and then he liked Jessi. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be anybody's second choice. And then she goes, and also, did she forget he tried to ruin her life? Thank you. Hello. But I think that Jessi is probably, like, justifying it because she's like, "Marciano was hurt that I stopped talking to him." So, like, he did that because he was so hurt, and, like, that's probably flattering to her. Because when you have no self-esteem, it's like, "Oh, you like me that much that you wanted to hurt me?" You know? Anyway. All right, Macy and Michaela, I cannot believe for a second that this was all really set up the way it was. They call, like, a polygrapher, I don't know how to say that, but they expect us to believe this was all set up, like, within this day. Because, like, I think it's Macy's confessional. She says, um, we were able to get someone booked for later that day, and that might have just been, like, to move the story along and through the narrating and the confessional, but I'm also like, you found one and called them, and they were available, okay? But this late we have seen enough lie detector tests, okay? Orange County had a whole thing with lie detector tests. If you don't watch Real Houses of Orange County, whole thing with lie detector, it was a whole fiasco because these tests are not being administered the way most actual lie detector tests are administered. Usually there's no cameras around, first of all. But lie detector tests are not accurate. I'm just shocked we still keep using them because this lady is like, it's 96% accurate. For what? It just all it's measuring is if if your body reacts, like if your heart rate goes up. That doesn't decide, like, you can't tell if someone's lying. There's no, like, machine hooked up to your brain that's like, "Oh, lying." It's just testing responses to things, you know? But then this lady goes, "Because of national security issues, I do not need to, like, inflate my ego, but, I'm kind of a big deal. I can't be on camera." What? All right, anyway. All right, back in Utah, Zach tells Jen about the whole Jessi Marciano situation. And wait, hold on. Zach goes, "What's the chubby Italian's name?" Well done. Well done. But Jen's first question is correct. I get it. She's like, "Why were they coming for my marriage when this was happening?" And that's a fair question, honestly. I don't think Jessi was having the affair at all until, like, off season, right? I don't know. Oh, actually, does anyone where's the timeline on their filming season 3, or they stopped filming season 2? Like, that was after Vanderpump Villa, right? Oh. Yeah, no, that's a good question, Jen. Why was there a focus on her marriage when well, Marciano gets there. This fucking guy arrives with flowers. Um, Jessi says in her confessional that it's kind of complicated because they did start to have feelings for each other. So it is hard for us to see each other. And I'm like, okay, this is the stuff Jordan would hate. I don't care if I don't like Jordan at all, but like if I'm just calling it fair, that's not good. Don't say that. You know, like, yeah, yes, you're separated, but like you're admitting there's complicated feelings there and that like, eh, you know, I love Miranda, Taylor, and Layla trying to listen into their conversation in the room. So Jessi says, "Why did you lie to Layla about us?" And I'm breaking down what he said because I just don't know if I believe what he says. He goes, "I know, and that's why I feel so bad about, like, sorry about that. It ate me alive about the entire thing where I was just like, why did I do that?" And she's like, "So then why did you?" And he's like, No, I'm explaining." Okay. He's like, I felt like you were gone and I knew we had a mutual understanding, but then I started to have words put in my head that it was never real. I was used. I was manipulated. I was all these things where I was just like, oh, fuck. Okay. Now let's back it up. What were you used and manipulated for? For what? Why would he feel used and manipulated? Because he thought he was going to get a spot on the show? He thought he was going to come on as like Jessi's lover? What was manipulating you at all? You know she's married. You had to have known that it could only go so far. So what was Demi even able to say that was like, I just don't get why he was even upset. It just, to me, seems like Marciano wanted a way to get on this fucking show somehow. So Jessi goes, okay, so you were in your head thinking I ghosted and manipulated you, and Demi's there for you. Okay, so you told Demi we didn't sleep together. Marciano says, yeah, but she didn't believe me. And I was just like, okay, what do I do here? Hmm, 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 hmm. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe he told Jessi that they didn't, or Demi, that they didn't have sex. I don't know if I believe that. I just don't know if I believe that. I kind of feel like maybe he did say that, you know? And now we're all believing Marciano. Marciano sucks. Like, oh, his energy is horrendous. He's not hot for any of this either, by the way. So then Jessi goes, honestly, what needs to happen at some point is we all get in a room and hash this out, or we take lie detector tests. Would you be open to that ever? I have one here. What? And Marciano's like, all right, I'll do it for you. All right, so while that's happening, the other women have a really nice conversation, or an interesting conversation, I would say, about being with a Mormon man and getting married in the temple. And basically, you don't have to be Mormon to be a good person, and how there are a lot of like hypocritical Mormon men out there. I like that Macy, though, gets a little offended because she's with a Mormon guy. That's good. She's like, I have a good one, so it's fine. Like, "Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Sorry, you got bad ones." It's funny that what they do for the polygrapher is they just blur her face. She's fully on camera. You know, like if she was really trying to hide her identity that much, you would think that she would just be like, don't even show me. But we just saw a whole lie detector scene on Orange County. So this whole thing, I'm not like, this is the truth teller. I'm like, who submitted these questions? Was it a producer? Was it Jessi? Like, lie detector tests are not valid. But okay. They take their lie detector tests. All right. Now it's time for dinner, which again, I'm right there with Taylor. No, don't do that. I don't care that you're separated from Jordan. If you plan on getting back together, you shouldn't be doing dinner with him. Marciano should be gone out of respect for him, for Jordan. You kind of can't play both sides of that, Jessi. But Marciano's pulling all of his shit. He's like staring at her, and he's like, I'm just staring at how beautiful you are, which is the creepiest line, right? Like, shut up. But she's like, oh my God, like, stop, that's awkward. And then he goes, you used to not care when I said that stuff. And Jessi goes, well, yeah, we were having an affair. And he goes, so why would it change? Because this is, what? Bro. This is Taylor's first time meeting Marciano. So she's like, what? This is Marciano? This is the guy that we're talking about? But Marciano coming to dinner is fucking weird. It's weird. Jessi asks, this is even weirder. She goes, hey, Marciano, why don't you reenact the kiss you had with Demi on Layla? Okay, what? 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 No, 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 no. Taylor picks up on how giddy Jessi is. And she says in her confessional, this is not a good look. Like, yes, you're separated, but there's got to be a level of respect. This is just a bad look. But then Macy gets the results. Now, Marciano and Jessi both pass the specific question, did you have sexual intercourse? Which was a no, and that was yes. No, they were being honest. But then there's some other questions. It's like, did you have any other sexual interactions? And it's like, Jessi said no, but it's inconclusive. Dun, dun, dun. Because lie detector tests are so not accurate, especially if you're filming them. If you're filming them, you're getting heightened by the show and like by the cameras. I don't know. It just, we just had this whole big thing on Real Housewives of Orange County, and it was like a whole lot of nothing. And if you're a true crime fan, you know that lie detector tests aren't a thing that are accurate. They're always thrown out, all the time. So, all right. but they're relying on this. Jessi, they're even like, validation, you got your redemption or something like that. Like you got reassurance. That's what it was. Reassurance. There it is. But then it's like, but then you were inconclusive on your other answers. But we'll get to that when we talk about episode 4. Okay? All right. I'm going to go now. Love you. Mean it. See you next time. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. This show is produced, hosted, and edited by me, Emily, and brought to you in partnership with Cloud 10 Media. If you are looking for bonus content, check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. To show some support, you can hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Another free way to support the pod, please rate and/or review on whatever platform you listen. It's free, and it helps the algorithm or something. You could also head to buymeacoffee.com/shespeaks and buy me a coffee or two. Make sure you're following me on all social medias. I am She's Speaking with Emily Hanks across all platforms: Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's it. Thank you guys. See you soon.